You don't miss them. You don't even like them anymore. So why are they still living in your head, completely rent-free? It might be a comment they made, a specific moment you shared, or a memory that just pops up when you least expect it. It feels frustrating, maybe even obsessive. But what if I told you it's not a sign of weakness? It has nothing to do with wanting them back. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of why your mind keeps returning to people who hurt you. And it's not about them. It's about your brain trying to complete an unfinished story. Stay tuned, because understanding this is the first step to finally getting them out of your head for good. So, let's get into the science. Your brain is hardwired for one primary mission: survival. And in the world of survival, pain carries vital information. Think about it. Emotional pain, like betrayal or rejection, activates the very same memory systems in your brain as physical danger. It's a signal. Your brain essentially flags the experience and says, hey, pay attention. Remember this feeling, remember this person, remember this situation. We can't let this happen again. This is called a negativity bias. Our brains are designed to hold onto negative experiences more tightly than positive ones because the negative ones represent a threat. That's why a single hurtful comment can overshadow 100 compliments. The sting of pain is a lesson your brain doesn't want to forget, which is why it often sticks around long after moments of happiness have faded into the background. It's not because you're broken, it's because your brain is trying to protect you. Now, here's where it gets complicated: attachment. Attachment doesn't just disappear when pain shows up. In fact, attachment is formed through a few key ingredients: emotional intensity, repetition, and vulnerability. When someone hurts you, especially someone you were close to, the pain doesn't erase the attachment. Sometimes it strengthens the imprint. The emotional intensity is off the charts. If you were vulnerable with them, that connection runs deep. Your brain doesn't neatly separate things into this person hurt me and this person was important to me. Instead, both truths coexist, creating a tangled, powerful emotional knot. The connection remains active in your neural pathways because it was significant. It mattered. So, when you find yourself thinking about them, you're not just remembering the pain. You're also re-experiencing a bond that was once a major part of your life. Your brain is struggling to reconcile the love and the hurt, and that conflict keeps the memory alive and kicking. This brings us to one of the most powerful concepts in psychology, the Zeigarnik effect, or what we can call an unfinished loop. Our brains absolutely hate unresolved stories and incomplete tasks. When a relationship or a situation ends without a clear sense of closure, maybe you never got an apology, you never received a real explanation, or you never had that one final conversation to say what you needed to say, your mind is left with an open emotional loop. It's like a movie that cuts to black right before the climax. Your brain, in its attempt to find a resolution, will replay the story over and over again. It's not trying to make you suffer, it's trying to understand. It's searching for meaning, looking for clues it might have missed, and desperately trying to write an ending that makes sense. This repetitive thinking isn't a sign that you're stuck. It's a sign that your mind is actively trying to solve a puzzle. It needs to close the file, but it can't because a crucial piece of the story is missing. So why do these memories ambush you at the most random times? You could be driving, listening to a song, walking past a coffee shop, or even just smelling a certain scent, and bam, there they are, right back in your mind. This isn't nostalgia. It's a textbook case of emotional conditioning. Your brain is an expert at linking powerful emotional memories to sensory cues. That song you hear? It was playing during a significant moment with them. That coffee shop? It was your spot. When your brain encounters one of these sensory triggers, it automatically pulls up the associated emotional file. It's an involuntary response, like a reflex. You don't choose to think about them in that moment. The memory is activated by the cue. Understanding this can be incredibly freeing because it separates you from the thought. It's not you actively choosing to dwell on the past. It's your brain's filing system doing its job a little too well, pulling up old files based on environmental triggers. Now, let's talk about a major factor that keeps this whole cycle going: self-blame. When we experience pain, especially at the hands of someone else, our brain scrambles to make sense of it. And believe it or not, the brain often prefers a sense of control over the uncomfortable truth. The truth might be that someone's actions were unpredictable, unfair, or senseless. That's a scary thought, because it means we're vulnerable. So, to create an illusion of control, the brain starts asking questions like, what did I do wrong? Or if only I had done this differently. Blaming yourself, as painful as it is, gives you a false sense of agency. It suggests that if you had just been better, or smarter, or different, the pain could have been avoided. This keeps the loop alive because you're constantly reanalyzing your own behavior instead of accepting the reality of the situation. Letting go often means accepting that some pain is not your fault and was never in your control to prevent. And that can be a much harder pill to swallow than self-blame. A lot of people think that time heals all wounds. And while time can definitely dull the intensity of the pain, it doesn't on its own fix the underlying issue. If you just wait it out without actively processing what happened, the memory simply goes dormant. It's still there, active in your subconscious, just quieter. Think of it like a computer program running in the background. It's not on your main screen, but it's still using up your system's resources. True healing requires more than just the passage of time. It requires understanding. It requires giving the experience meaning. Without actively engaging in emotional processing, you're not resolving the unfinished loop. You're just putting it on pause. That's why months or even years later, a trigger can bring all those feelings rushing back with surprising force. The wound never truly closed, it just scabbed over. So, how do you finally close the loop and find peace? Here's the most important part. Closure doesn't come from them. Waiting for an apology or an explanation from the person who hurt you is giving them control over your healing. Real closure is an internal process. It's something you give to yourself. First, you have to name the loss. Trust, a sense of safety, a vision of the future. Be specific. Second, acknowledge the hurt without judgment. Allow yourself to feel the anger, the sadness, the confusion. Your feelings are valid. Third, and this is the hardest step, you have to consciously release the need for answers. You have to accept that you may never know why they did what they did, and that's okay. You can write them a letter you never send, talk it out with a therapist or a trusted friend, or create a personal ritual to symbolize the end. When your brain finally understands that the story is over, even if the ending was what you wanted, it will stop replaying the beginning. In the end, constantly thinking about someone who hurt you doesn't mean you're weak, and it certainly doesn't mean you want them back. It's a sign that you're brilliant. Protective mind never got the clean ending it needed to file the memory away. It's been stuck in a loop, trying to make sense of the senseless. But once you take back the narrative, once you give the story your own meaning and your own ending, your mind will finally find what it's been searching for all along: peace. You can move forward not by forgetting, but by understanding. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on psychology and self-growth. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.